The following speech contains material of a scientific and biological nature that some may find shocking or even disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, a lot of people don't know that much about bats. They don't like them, they think they're scary, they think that, they're little scary rats with wings, and you don't want them in your hair, you don't want them in your garden, you just don't like them around because they're really, really weird creatures. And a lot of people don't know about the things that bats have actually been combating right now, such as this big word right here, Geomyces destructans. Now that is a very strange word. Well, right now I am going to get you all informed about what the bats have been up against, what Geomyces destructans is, and exactly how we've been going about it. So, first off, I'd like you to know that I myself really love bats. I remember the first bat that I encountered when I was like 8, and I thought that, it was just so amazing. I was in the mountains, I was in a lodge, and this bat got stuck on this little wooden plank, and it was crawling around. It was amazing. And to think that this species could, at some point, become extinct, it's a really detrimental thought to think that our grandkids' generation may grow up in a world without bats. That would be really disconcerting. Or many other species that are attached to them. But I'd like you to know that a lot of people like bats. They're very festive, and there's a lot of things to love about bats. Sure, the bats are scary, they're really hairy, and they're completely unpredictable. Some bats can look just downright dangerous, but in the end, bats are actual unsung heroes. They really do provide an excellent service. And these are all things that I'm going to introduce you to right now. Now, first and foremost, that word, Geomyces destructans, that is a disease that has been affecting the entire population of bats since 2006. It came out around Wisconsin, and the first confirmed death was around 2006 in New York, but there have been great breakthroughs in science because of this. And also, it is not only isolated in those states. Since 2006, Geomyces destructans, pejoratively known as the white nose syndrome, specifically because it has these white noses on the bats, it has actually spread to 24 states across America, including some of Canada as well as Europe. It's sincerely a very important problem that not many people know that much about. Now, Geomyces destructans, the white nose syndrome, is fascinating because it only grows in the cold. It will not grow in temperature above 20 degrees Celsius, which makes it incredibly important for the hibernation of bats. What it does to the bats is it literally just makes them itch. It makes them incapable of mating. It makes them incapable of hibernating. And hence, they literally die from exhaustion because they just itch. And it spreads from bat to bat. This is incredibly important because bats, of course we know, they have incredible sonar. Bats, they've been survivors for so many centuries, but there's so many other things that we are unaware that bats really do contribute to our environment. Now, that goes into exactly why we need bats. And that is a very important thing that I want to emphasize for all of you right now. And it's from a reference quote. I'd like to refer to National Geographic, a very well-known, well-established environmental, piece that they quoted a Richard Kirk, who was the endangered species coordinator out of Tennessee, and he actually states, spelling it out, that bats provide a titanic public service when it comes to the consuming up to 1,200 insects per hour per bat. I want to re-emphasize that. One bat in 1 hour consumes 1,200 bugs. Think of not having that bat for 1 hour and how many millions of pounds. This is quoting Richard Kirk, the endangered species coordinator out of Tennessee, very reliable source. Without our bats, there will be millions of pounds of bugs in our neighborhoods, in our gardens, in our air, in our hair, in our lungs. That is something very important to emphasize. outside of just all the other reasons to love these furry, cuddly little creatures. Now, how we have actually helped these bats comes from a specific organization in Wisconsin where the Geomyces destructans originated, where it was first really discovered and studied. And this organization is the National Wildlife Center of Wisconsin. They're a group of scientists and ecological activists who have actually gathered together to make certain that we have isolated and studied this very strange and disturbing disease that has been spreading through the bats and can certainly create very detrimental complications for other species such as ourselves when it comes to all the different diseases carried by insects. This is a species that is very interlinked. I'd really like to emphasize for all of you how closely related every species is to the next and how vital one species is for our survival. So these scientific breakthroughs are not only about these bats. These bats are simply a link in a greater chain of all of us, and we also benefit directly from the scientific breakthroughs of the scientists and activists that have done so much to actually create some kind of revitalization and healing and stopping the endangered species from going extinct from this planet. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show.